Hi Leo, Happy New Year! This is your January 2018 reading with me, Tarot to Recovery. Let's see what messages we have for Leo, the Lion, in love and life for January 2018. Messages for Leo, January 2018. Messages we have for Leo, January 2018, January 2018, Leo. Justice. So Leo, how many of you are involved in a legal dispute? How many of you are training to be a lawyer? Law exams. Maybe some of you have been wronged in a particular situation by a particular person. Or maybe some of you are working on rebuilding trust in a relationship with someone else, or I feel like there's karmic concerns is the only way. Perhaps you're trying to right a wrong, you're trying to undo bad karma, you're trying to rebuild a relationship where trust has been abused. Let's see what else we've got here. So in the Six of Cups in the past position, at least in this sense, you can look back to a time in your life where things were good, things were happy, you're maybe a bit nostalgic. Yeah, I really feel like a lot of you are trying to rebuild something. Putting in the effort. Yeah, I think rebuilding things emotionally is quite a strong theme here, Leo. It could be with an ex, it could be with your family. I feel like you're trying to rebuild ties and you're reaching out to someone. It could be a Libra person, because as we have Justice in the current position, in the recent past, we also have the Six of Pentacles, which has the Scales, which rivals Justice, mimics Justice. It's the same scale, so this can be a Libra person that you're dealing with. The Three of Pentacles. There's a strong theme about building something. Perhaps you're trying to build a relationship up from you may be trying to rebuild a marriage that's been failing for some of you, not everyone. You're maybe trying to rebuild your career after some time out. Maybe some of you were for some of you this can apply to being on maternity leave and then staying off work to raise a family, and you're recently coming back to the workplace and you're trying to rebuild relationships in your workplace. Judgment. Yeah, there's definitely legality here. The Hanging Man, the Empress, and the Wheel of Fortune. Wow, that's a lot of major arcana. That's 5 major arcana, Leo. That's quite big. So some of you, I feel like there's some sort of there's a cyclical pattern here. So what I mean by that is something that's been going around in circles. And I'm sensing, Leo, as you know, you are present in the Wheel of Fortune card. You're here. There's also Taurus, there's also Scorpio, and there's also Aquarius. You may be dealing with these personalities. So you may be dealing with Taurians, you may be dealing with Aquarians or Scorpios. But I feel almost like for some of you, you're dealing with a combination of the two. And I feel like things have been going round and round, and you're maybe a little bit yeah, there's a snake here, so I feel someone or something has been a little bit deceitful, and you're maybe revisiting this, or you're having legal ties, and I almost feel like I'm getting justice in relationships and justice in the workplace. Somebody's looking for justice, someone feels wronged. It could be you, it could be somebody else. Maybe you may have wronged someone. There's always that side of the coin. Someone may have wronged you, or you may be feeling unfairly accused, and you may have felt like your intentions were good, but things have worked out a certain way, and you're trying to rebuild that relationship with someone. I feel like there may be some relationships with water signs. Maybe you're leaning on a water sign at this time. Maybe you've got quite a close relationship with a water sign. You may also have a close relationship with a Taurus. Let's see what's underneath here. The Six of Swords. So you're moving on from something, but you're not moving on alone. So some of you may actually have left a marriage and met someone relatively quickly. You may have left a marriage for someone else. Someone may have left you. I feel like for different people, there's going to be different pathways for the same scenario. So whether it was you left someone for someone else left someone for you, I feel like there's this cyclical thing, and you feel at this point like you're going around in circles. But there's definitely a big change this month. So whatever situation it is, I feel like there's progress. Somebody is moving on anyway. There's definitely someone making a change in their own life, making some headway. Could be you, could be somebody else. You may have offered an olive branch of sorts. It's not being reciprocated. You may be thinking of offering an olive branch, but you might be frightened of the reaction. Some of you, you're worried about how long the situation has been going on and if the damage has been done, I'm guessing. Further messages for Leos, messages for Leos, messages for Leos. The Hierophant. So I'm definitely getting there's a marriage in here. There's a marriage within this reading. It could be, it can represent a marriage, or it can represent a Taurus person. Maybe you're thinking of getting married. Maybe you left a marriage. Maybe you've met a Taurus. Maybe you're thinking of moving forward with a Taurus. Let's see how this plays out in the rest of the reading. Let's see. The Four of Cups. Yes, I feel like you've possibly offered someone an apology, or someone has offered you an apology and you're not having it. The Emperor. Perhaps the way you're being received is due to the fact that you hold a lot of control in the situation. I get the feeling that some male Leos may be accused of being a little bit chauvinistic, or they may be accused of being a bit sexist or something. I feel like in some people's work environments there's an accusation of a domineering personality, and you may be dealing with a person like this. You may be dealing with a boss that's like this, or an Aries that's like this. But someone, there's an apology that really falls flat is what I'm getting here. Ace of Wands, Three of Cups. Yes, some of you were involved in a third party situation. Some of you, yeah. I feel like some of you were involved. There's two threes here. And the Empress as well is a 3. So some of you were involved in a third party situation. Some of you, quite simply, have been leaning on friends. Maybe some of you have been helping out a friend. Maybe someone's been helping you. Leo. Temperance. 5. Yeah, you're really mentally going through the ringer about this. I feel like there's a guilty feeling for some of you. There's a sadness for others. There's a disappointment that things didn't work out quite the way you thought they would. But I also feel like something that wasn't working went on for too long, and you're breaking free, but you're feeling a little bit shaky about it. Yeah, the Devil, something that went on too long and felt unhealthy and restrictive. And the 8 of Wands. So for some of you, the communication and the apology that was not received, if that is the case, I feel like things are going to suddenly change this month, and you're going to start having an actual communication if you need it. It could be with an Aquarius, it could be with a Scorpio, it could be with a Leo, it could be with a Taurus. It could be with anybody, of course, but I feel like some of you may be traveling for this apology. Some of you may be traveling with one of these signs, or with your partner, taking a break, taking a holiday. But yeah, I feel like for some others there's a new romance on the cards, and it could be with a water sign, or you may be already romantically involved with a water sign. But I feel like this is someone that's offering you a lot of support at this time, and a lot of love and a lot of compassion, and I feel like it's someone that you know you can rely on. which is lovely. I also feel like you're going to need, some of you may need to take some time away from the workplace to gain some perspective and some emotional freedom. I feel like some of you are very trapped in your work situation and some of you aren't quite happy, and you have an opportunity to find some balance in yourself emotionally, you know, get back to who you are. I know that Leo is a fire sign, but taking some time in somewhere with water, I feel like might be quite beneficial to you. Maybe you have water in your chart, maybe you have a lot of Scorpio or a lot of Cancer, a lot of Pisces in your chart. But some of you are definitely traveling, and if you're traveling somewhere sunny, all the better, because sunshine and Leos go hand in hand. It's the fiery energy to recharge you. Similarly, some people may be in a situation where someone stepped out of their marriage, or maybe they stepped out of their marriage, and you're finding the either the guilt or the hurt is very hard to move forward with, Leo. And I feel like, you know, getting away and recharging is the best thing you can do. If you are hurt for a situation, or you feel a bit trapped in the workplace, or you feel trapped in a relationship, or you know, gain some perspective, step out of the situation and look at it from another angle, and try to get some detachment and focus. Exactly what I just said. Try to get away from the situation and get some objectivity, some focus. Try and get a bird's eye view of the situation, you know, as if you were looking at it from somebody else that's not emotionally invested in the situation. And I feel like that's the best way that you can get the control back. Page of Cups and the Eight of Cups. Yes, you're definitely, some of you are involved with a water sign. Some of you have left one relationship and you're walking straight into another. It could be with a water sign. Some of you are missing a water sign. Some of you may hear from a water sign, or some of you may actually have a water sign thinking of you that wants to talk. Yeah, I feel like there's two people that want to talk, but nobody's talking. But they are thinking of you. I feel like someone is thinking of you, Leo. Let's see, what other messages have we got for Leo? January 2018. Messages for Leo. January 2018. Ace of Swords. And the Nine of Cups. There's very much if you are communicating with someone, because I feel like a particular conversation is dominating this month. And if you are communicating with someone, try not to appear smug or arrogant. God forbid you would, Leo, but you know, as a warm, sunny, proud sign, king of the jungle, it can be quite intimidating for other folk, and they can you know, they can envy you and they can feel a bit of jealousy when you're in a particularly good situation, which is fine. But sometimes you have to be a little bit more sensitive to those people and you know, try and appear as humble as possible. If things are going right, try to appear as humble as possible. The Queen of Wands. Yeah, someone somewhere has stepped out of a marriage. Probably doesn't apply to everyone, but I feel like someone really needs to hear this. If it was you, I can see you making a headway with your own remorse and your own guilt for this situation if you do feel sad. For others of you where this happened to you, I can see you getting a new perspective on things and feeling, sort of filling your own cup, so to speak. You know, giving back to yourself and taking some time to recharge. Strength. Leo, that is your card. That is your card. I feel like time to reflect and time to see things from a different perspective and fill your own cup, you know, give to yourself emotionally, tell yourself how wonderful you are. Self-love is very important in healing from these things, and it's also very important for starting a new relationship. For those of you that are hurting from a past love or a past breakdown, I feel like you're going to get your strength back this month, and I feel it very strongly. I feel like you're going to suddenly, you know, This is almost like, it's almost like a comic book where it goes from one to the other. So as you can see, they're similar, you know, obviously the wings and the hair are different, but they're similar women. So once she starts taking back balance and filling her own cup, so to speak, which is present in the Ace of Cups, once you start looking after yourself and giving to yourself emotionally, you gain your ability to control your own surroundings. So when you look after number one, you'll be able to control the aggressive side to life. You know, the emotions that you find hard to deal with, the situations you find hard to deal with. I can see you taking those on head first this month once you've looked after yourself better. Page of Pentacles, some of you, if you're in a work situation that's uncomfortable, some of you will have a way out. Some of you will have an opportunity to leave it, and some of you may actually travel quite far to get away from the situation. You may change towns, you may change countries. So, you know, I wouldn't go as far to say as you'll change planets, but I feel like you'll want space between the situation for some reason. There's a heavy feeling in the workplace, and I don't think you're happy. A lot of you, I don't think you're happy. King of Cups. A water sign. Yeah, water signs are very present here. It's definitely a water sign. The Hierophant. And there's so many major arcana. Knight of Swords. Yep, things are going to start moving quickly. And the Magician. So yes, what I said about you have, you know, choose your words carefully. Choose your thoughts carefully. If you find your own brain and your own mind and the things that you're telling yourself are what's causing the pain that you may or may not be going through, I would really suggest catching that early and start to tell yourself a different narrative. So if you've been in a situation where you've been left and you've been hurt, tell yourself that you've been hurt because you're meant to find the right person for you and you were going down the wrong path, or that you needed to learn something from that particular relationship that went wrong. If you're dealing with guilt, because guilt is coming up quite strongly here for some of you, if you're dealing with a guilty feeling, I think the best thing that you can do is accept the guilt and dwell on it for a moment and realize that you're feeling this so that you won't do it again, because we've all done things in our life that we're not proud of. You know, at least one of us have at least one moment in our lives where we wish we'd done something differently, or we wish we'd said something differently. But the beauty of that is you know better in the future. You know, if you have done something one way, you can learn from that and say, I'm not going to do it that way again. I wouldn't have known not to do that if it hadn't happened. But I feel like if there's a conversation that has to happen this month, it's going to happen. And I think you have so much sway on how it goes, and I think you should almost premeditate the conversation and approach it with a point of compassion. And choose your words very carefully with this person, because I feel like somebody got hurt. And if you need to talk to someone that hurt you, you can communicate that whichever way you choose. You know, the best point is to say that you were hurt, but accept that you have control where you go forward from here. Because I feel like things are changing for you, Leo. The fates are going in the right direction, and I feel like they were going one way and it wasn't right for you, so things had to change drastically to make sure that things progress better. And I really see some of you talking to an Aquarius or a Gemini or a Libra. Going back to the Justice card and Judgment, if some of you were involved in a legal dispute, I can see things starting to go in your favour, and I can really see you having a very strong defense team. If you're up for something, I feel like you have a strong defense team, or you have a strong strong support, and things will take off and go a lot quicker than they have been, because there were delays, and maybe feeling stuck made you act in a way that you wish you hadn't. But for some of you, really big changes are happening, and I feel like it's for those of you that were married, or separated, or, you know, there was a very significant person in your life. I feel like this reading is for you. For single people that have absolutely nobody in the picture, I can see you finding quite a lot of comfort and interest in a younger earth sign. I feel like it could be a Capricorn or a Taurus. I'm not drawn massively to Virgo in this reading, but it can be a Virgo, because Earth, Pentacles, It could be another Leo. It could be a water sign. I feel like I'm getting Scorpio quite strongly. Yeah, there's a Scorpio feeling here for some of you. I feel like Scorpio, Aquarius, and Taurus are big signs to look out for this month. So if you meet somebody new and they fall into those categories, I would say that that's probably quite a safe bet and someone that you could really. I feel like it could be a relationship where you fall for each other very quickly. I think fixed signs tend to, they tend to stick together, and sometimes they stick together when they really shouldn't. But being fixed, it's harder to let go, and sometimes it can mean you stay in a toxic relationship for too long. But other times, it means that you work on things together and you just love being with each other so much that you can't leave and you don't want to leave, and there's a lot of loyalty there. And I think sometimes when a fixed sign is disloyal or steps out or does something that they're not proud of, I feel like it is very hard for them to move forward because it's so out of character. But I can see definite progression this month, Leo, and I think it's definite progression in a big way. The amount of major arcana that we have floating around here suggests to me that this will be quite a big month for you. So I hope you enjoyed that, Leo. Don't forget to check out your moon and rising, as I have all the readings up at this point. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you are interested in a private reading with me for more personal messages, check out the description box below. Take care, Leo. Bye.